This is episode 15 of Pitchin It With Ben. I had a lot of fun talking with Symetra Tour player Nikita Arjun. We talk about her golf journey and how she started playing golf in India, coming to the US for college, playing professionally, and the challenges that come with that, and so much more. Thank you all for listening, and enjoy episode 15. Okay, I am joined today by, I'm happy to have her as a guest, Symetra Tour player, professional golfer, Nikita Arjun. Nikita,
Hey.
hey, how's it going?
Good, how about you?
I'm doing pretty good. We are in a new year. It's hard to believe.
Yeah. I
2021.
know.
Although it doesn't quite feel like, it still kind of feels like 2020, right? It feels like
Kind of.
kind of.
Just try not to look at it that way.
Yeah, that's good. Positivity. That's the mindset you need as a golfer. So, well, I want to start off first of all. So you're out in Arizona, correct?
Yes.
That's where your home base is here in the US.
Yep.
So how have things been for you over the, I guess talk about last year, or recently? Like, what have you been able to do? What you've been up to?
I've been able to live life normally because
Yeah.
things are open here and we back up with tournaments. So I've been able to travel. Golf courses have been open, so I've been able to practice every day. And gyms are open, thank God. So been able to work out. So yeah, it's kind of normal except for the whole 6 feet apart thing, but that's okay.
Yeah. Say you said thank goodness about the gyms being open. I know you love to
Yeah.
work out.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's not super early per se, especially for like a golfer. But I think it's like around 9:15 a.m. your time right now.
About 9:20, yeah.
Yeah, 9:20. So you're a pretty early person though.
I
You're an
try
early
to be.
riser.
I try to be.
Have you always been an early person?
No,
No?
no,
Did
no.
that
I'm usually a night owl.
Oh, well, when did that
Yeah.
start though? The morning stuff.
It's been about a year about over a year since I started waking up earlier. Because in the summer, it gets so hot here. Try get out early and beat the heat, but then I end up staying all day anyway at the golf course. And at winter time, like the sun goes down at like 5:30, so I gotta make the most of the sun and the state sunlight. But I end up staying past dark anyway.
I
So
mean,
that helps.
that's true. So I guess, and we've talked a little bit, over the last couple years. I got to know you a little bit, and I know that you're fully dedicated in what you do. At least that's my impression. Like you
I
really,
am, yeah.
I think, enjoy what you're doing and the pursuit of in this case playing golf at the highest
Mm-hmm.
level that you possibly can. So I imagine that the early waking up has to be related a little bit to the golf too. Like
Oh yeah.
you have to have that time dedicated, like when you can. And it's funny. Are there any courses that
Mm-hmm.
have lights there, like you could practice at night?
Well, my golf academy, the golf course I practice at, we have a golf academy there, so we have bays inside. So we could turn on the light and just practice out of there. But no, there aren't really. I don't think there are golf courses here with lights, except for one which has a light lit up driving range. So
Okay.
everyone goes there.
Uh,
But I'm
and
not sure about golf courses, like the actual golf course.
okay. So I meant at least practice facilities.
Okay.
So somewhere, like a driving range or short
Mhm.
game area, putting green, other than Top Golf, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think I know of one place
One.
which is lit up range,
Okay.
and then the golf academy at where I practice.
That's nice. So I
Hmm.
think, and I guess we can go ahead and get into it right now. We'll get back to you and your journey here, but
Okay.
talking about Arizona. So
Yeah.
when you get into the golf world, it's kind of wild to me as I've kind of been involved since 2017 when I started and started to realize how small the golf world is.
Hmm.
Like you're not that far away from being connected to almost anyone. It's like you will
Yeah.
know someone that knows someone. Like it's
Hmm.
almost like that close almost all the time. Like once you're
Yeah.
in that industry or in the golf world long enough, that's kind of what happens. Um so I know a lot of people that are based out in Arizona,
Hmm.
and just talk about why you chose Arizona. And because to me it's a great place because of and you had a great experience last year. There's so many opportunities to continue competing
Hmm.
despite the big tours like LPGA and Symetra, their schedules were greatly impacted.
Hmm.
But I think in your area, and you can maybe talk a little bit about this, you were able to still compete in some of these mini tour events and things.
Yeah. Well, the reason I actually moved to Arizona was because I was in Savannah for I think what 5 years. So I've been the East Coast for 6. So I was like, let's see what the West Coast is about. And plus, being in Savannah, I had to, if I wanted to play mini tour events, I would have to travel to Florida. So there's like hotel and all the travel costs and stuff. But Arizona has its own mini tour called the Cactus Tour. So it's like I could just live here and play like 10 tournaments and just pay the entry fee, you know? So that was one part, and just also be closer to my brother since he lives here too.
Ah,
It's closer to family in a way.
was he already there?
Yeah.
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 What's he do? Is he a golfer too? Does he like to play golf?
He golfs, but uh not professionally.
Okay, I got you.
But he's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Don't tell him that, but yeah, he's pretty
Well, if he hears this podcast, he's
probably.
I love the sibling rivalry stuff. It's like tough love. It's like
Oh
I do
yeah.
the same thing with my sister. It's like mm, I tell other people like she's really great at
Hmm.
some things, but it's hard to tell her.
Hmm.
Like I don't want to admit it to her. Just
Yeah.
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 Um. So I guess that made it pretty easy then. I should say fairly easy decision to move from the East Coast out to the West Coast,
Sort of.
sort of.
Because I mean, I honestly I don't like change. So try and make that decision, like pack up everything, and then move out to the other side of the country.
Yeah.
It was hard, but I mean I did that moving from India to here. So what's moving it to the other side of the country? Like that's nothing.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, I mean it is it it does kind of get to me that I don't have two beaches within an hour of me, which I did in Savannah. Now it's just mountains everywhere and desert.
So okay, so I live in the Midwest. I'm in
Hmm.
Indiana. So to me, and it's kind of funny when I talk to people that live in these places, like whether it's LA or down in Florida or in
Hmm.
Arizona, these are all places that people like where I live. This is where we go on vacations, and there's like it's always beautiful. It's always awesome because we're there for like a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me how I think you appreciate where you live
Hmm.
and the opportunities you get there, but it is funny how some things get to be kind of just like just more mountains, more desert. Because to me, that like the Phoenix,
Hmm.
Scottsdale area, like it's so beautiful. There's so many.
Yeah.
That's a big change of pace for me from like
Hmm.
cornfields and little hills.
True.
And right now, like it's funny too. Like I see you on Instagram sometimes posting, and you're like, "Oh no, it's too cold." It's like it's like 60 degrees or something.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, "Yo, we got I have snow. Like the golf course. I tried to go to the golf course a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
and you could see like the frost on the greens, and like, well, it's a no go. They're not gonna let me on the golf course today. It'll kill all the grass. So, um, anyway, I do. You mentioned that change that you don't like change. So you're in Savannah
Mhm.
for 5 years. Is
Mhm.
that the first place you went after coming over from India?
No, I actually went to, well, I was at the golf academy in Hilton Head after high school, but I was I had to like go home and come back. But so technically, my first place I lived was Spartanburg, South Carolina for a year because I went to junior college there. Then I transferred to Armstrong State in Savannah, and I lived there for 5 years, and no, yeah, 5 years, and I moved here.
Okay. So I guess we can get to that beginning part though.
Okay.
So it's wild to me. India is such a big country.
Hmm.
It's so big. I can't even
Yeah.
wrap my head around it because it's just, yeah, it's just so big. Um, but to this point, at least on the professional level, there have not
Hmm.
been many people, men or women, really like representing India on the professional level. There's a few, but it's not
Yeah.
like I think in comparison to how big the country, how many people are there, it just seems like
Hmm.
it's not necessarily represented like you would expect. So, how did you initially get into golf?
Well, it started with my granddad. He's the first one in our entire family to start playing golf. And then my dad picked it up. He introduced it to my dad, and then dad introduced it to me and my brother. But I think I was probably like 7 at that time, but I was playing at tennis, so I didn't really care much for golf. I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, I'll go. And I'll go to junior camp, junior lessons. But my first love was tennis. But at 12, I no, at 10, I decided I could play both tennis and golf and be good at it, which I was. But there came a point where my dad was like, "You gotta pick, you gotta pick one." And golf was the first thing that came out of my mouth. So here we are.
Interesting. Do you remember in your like a 10 to 12-year old when you were 10 or 12
Mhm.
years old, like the thought like why golf?
Uh, Not really. I think I was watching cartoons, and I guess to get my get them out of my hair, and so I could keep busy. So I could continue watching. I was like, okay, golf.
Golf. Golf.
I mean, I guess it was meant to be because I didn't really think about it.
Yeah. So, okay, you chose golf.
Hmm.
And what was the process over the next few years like that? Because you were still in India.
Yeah.
And yeah, what was the process like those next few years?
Well, I went to regular school till seventh grade, and then after that, I always wanted to be a pro athlete. So my mom and dad, they decided that, well, schools there didn't really support athletes in a way because I had to miss a few like fairs to go play golf for golf tournaments, like
Mm,
miss a ton of classes. So they're like, okay, we're gonna try this thing called homeschooling. So they homeschooled both my brother and I for like 4 years. So we could just play golf. That's all we do. All we do was play golf and travel and study at home. Then I went, yes. So that's how it went. And we traveled to the US to play in the Cowboy World Juniors at Torrey Pines and realized that okay, there's something called college golf, and there were coaches recruiting, so we're like, okay, something needs that's the next stepping stone to where I want to be. So I was 17 and I enrolled in normal school again, high school in India, but they were more, um, what do you say, lenient. Well, they were more accepting of me and my travels, and they were like, "Okay, you want to do this? We'll help you." So that helped me. I graduated high school, still played golf, took a year off, played at the academy here, then got recruited into college, and now I'm pro. So that's short version of
Yeah. So,
my
I mean,
journey.
which is pretty incredible. So there's a couple of
Hmm.
things I want to follow up on. One, um, you said that it kind of when you came here for those
Hmm.
the junior worlds, was it junior worlds?
Hmm. Yeah.
By the way, these are Torrey Pines.
Really.
Yeah. No, I did yeah, I did grab a couple while I was there. But um anyway, you said that kind of introduced you to college golf, or you just discovered
Hmm.
this thing called college
Hmm.
golf. That's not something that was on your radar before.
Not really, because honestly, I never really thought about college because I was like, okay, I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna finish school and go pro. That's
Mm,
all. But my dad wanted us to get a degree, a bachelor's, like some sort of higher education, and all I knew was, okay, let's stay in India, do college, turn pro in India, and then go the normal route, European tour, and then LPGA. But because like I didn't really know people who went to college outside of India to
okay.
play college golf. So yeah, that's where I was first introduced to college, college golf and college recruits. And I think there was one coach who was following me at one point, and I had no clue.
Any nerves at all? Or were you nervous just being there? Did the potential of a coach watching you play, did that add any nerves, or were you just
No, I didn't know till after the tournament. My mom told me.
nice? That's good. By the way, what do you remember from that time at Torrey Pines?
uh, I just let's see. I remember everything. It was a ton of fun. Like I remember the opening ceremony, like carrying the Indian flag, um, playing Torrey Pines. Like, come on, playing by the ocean. It was beautiful. I remember this one hole just straight downhill, par three. That was interesting. um, I remember the the club the I think there's a restaurant right on the golf course, which people always recommend you to go to. So remember that. And I think I remember watching golf on TV in there.
Yeah.
So yeah. I just took it all in.
I'm curious too about how much. See, my love for Torrey Pines came
Mm-hmm.
from the 2008 U.S. Open, the men's U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Open, when Tiger won and Rocco Mediate put up that great fight, but
Yeah.
Tiger won on that one leg. So, were you aware of Tiger, what he'd done there? Is that something that?
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I was, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. Like of course, like I knew what he'd done. I knew about the golf course, but there's only so much golf they showed in India, and if it's in the U.S., it's always played aired midnight in India, and but I mean, of course, I knew what he done.
right, right, okay. So, because there's been athletes like I've watched
Hmm.
documentaries or even listened to other interviews of athletes. I can't think of who at this moment that I'm thinking of, but they talked about being like in Europe
Hmm.
and growing up there and not having access to watching the NBA,
Mhm.
and they literally somehow got their hands on like recorded VHSs. Like that's how they watched it. So it's
Mhm.
old games, but they still fell in love with the game, got to know the players despite not really having great access to it.
Yeah.
Um, so the other thing I wanted to ask about your time in India. So through your teenage years, going through the end of high school,
Mhm.
what's the competitive golf scene like? Were you able to play many tournaments, or what was that
Oh
like?
yeah. Yeah, I was traveling like every week to play junior tournaments, amateur tournaments. So I was like every week back to back. I was barely home. My mom and I were barely home.
Wow. And did this take you like regionally or all over
It took
India?
me all over. It took me all over India. It took me
Whoa.
north, took me west, took me east,
So
all over.
I know it's been a long time because you haven't been
Mhm.
back.
Since 2016.
Oh my goodness. Um, for some perspective,
Mhm.
like how long did you travel by car, train, fly,
Flew.
flew?
We flew. Unless it was in the south, we flew.
Okay.
Like, we had no choice, and we had to grab a taxi every time we wanted to go to the golf course. It was rough.
Wow. Do you remember like what's like the longest flight you could take in India? Like from like
Oh,
south south to north or
uh, south to north. Yeah, because I think it was from Bangalore to New Delhi. It was like a 3 hour, 4 hour flight, and that was pretty long.
3 or 4 hours. Okay.
Mhm. I think
So
I, I think so.
that's pretty long. Like it takes me
Yeah.
about 4 hours to get to
Hmm.
Los Angeles from
Hmm.
Indiana. So okay. That's a pretty long flight. So
Yeah.
okay, transitioning to your time in America. So
Hmm.
you graduated high school, you came over to an academy to like what was that journey? What was your intentions there? You want to go to a golf academy to be found by a college coach?
Uh, actually, I went to the golf academy just to get better instruct, like coach better. I was supposed to stay for a month. Then I stayed for 2 months. Ended up staying for 6 months. Came home for a month and went back again.
To the academy.
Yeah, to the academy. And it was like the second semester of it. That's when coaches I started looking at talking to coaches, and they started recruiting me. So it
And
was
was that an exciting time?
it was all I did was play golf while the other kids went to school. So I mean, got kind of boring because it was just me, but it is what it is. And I think what I was 19, 18, and living in an apartment with 15-year-olds. So and we had house parents, so having I had to follow the curfew and all of that. It was kind of annoying, but I mean, it worked out. It
19 to 15. That's literally like I remember being 15, I thought I was
mm,
like so mature and all like nah,
mm.
nope.
Because they have this program called post grad program. So there were kids my age or and older, but they were all guys, and I could not. I mean, I couldn't live with guys because
Yeah.
they all lived together. So yeah, I was stuck with the 15-year-olds.
Well, I think that I'm assuming you had no choice but to learn quite a bit
Hmm.
just about a lot of different things, being
Hmm.
independent, living with 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Um, what are some of those lessons that you learned?
Well, me. first ever lesson I learned there was don't put normal dish soap in a dishwasher. Yeah, I did that, and there was foam everywhere. That was my first ever lesson there.
Sounds like a
But
scene from a movie.
I was like, oh no. But that, and I mean, I already knew how to do my own laundry. Grocery shopping. That was a new thing because my mom always did the shopping for us. So moving here by myself, figuring out what I gotta do, like budgeting and all of that. That was that was something I learned. And just living on my own and making decisions for myself was those are pretty big lessons.
Yeah. By the way, like, was it difficult at all to transition to like an American diet?
No, because I never really had an Indian diet to
Ah,
start off with. So
okay.
it was, I mean, but yeah, it is tough to eat healthy when you have like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, like right around the corner
All the time.
all the time.
Do you like to cook?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like to bake.
Oh, I want to get back to that in a little while.
Okay.
So you do end up going to
Mm-hmm.
college, and I think, like, what was that experience like? I guess junior college, and then you went to Armstrong State,
Mm-hmm.
which is now known as Georgia Southern, correct?
Yeah, sadly.
Sorry. But can you talk about that? What your experience like was there?
uh well, junior college, it's just I'd never been to that city. I never visited the campus. So flying, I was I flew by myself from India because like I went home from the academy to back to India to get my visa and stuff. So I flew back to college by myself because I mean so I didn't really have that experience of my mom and dad helping me move in, to part to my dorm and everything. So I got to Greenville, South Carolina, and my college coach actually picked me up, and I had to stay in a hotel for the night because they didn't. It was late and the doors were closed. So it was like I never met this man before, never been in the city before, never been in a hotel room by myself. So I needed some security. So I had my stuffed toy. So I needed
Aw.
that. But the next morning I had to we had to go to Walmart and buy stuff for like bedding and all of that. So that was an experience. And I actually moved into the dorms a few days earlier because I got there that early, and it was interesting. Just being on an empty campus, not knowing what to do for food because I think the cafeteria was closed. And but when people started moving in, it was interesting to watch families move in, their kids, and I had to share a bathroom with three other girls. So
Oh.
that was pretty interesting. Uh that was a whole other story.
I actually, I'm not gonna say I relate. I can't relate, but I know from other people like the challenges of sharing bathroom.
Mhm.
Oh, so you had roommate? Did you have a roommate like in your dorm?
I did. She was pretty cool.
That's good.
That freshman year is probably my best year. The most fun I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
After
In
after that
college.
after that initial like kind of it probably a little
If
scary, right? Like just
Yeah, kind of. Like I think I called my mom and dad one day crying and like I wish you were here. I see everyone moving in. But I mean, I got over it.
Yeah, well, I think for like I can't imagine going to this like reverse. If I went to India, like I
Mhm,
got a call from a job or whatever it is,
mhm.
college, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go there. I've never met the people. I've never been there. I don't know what anything looks like. Maybe just from some photos, and just go and like it would be pretty shocking. So
Yeah, it
um
was because like even my mom and dad had never seen the campus. They were just sent me there, and just like because I got a scholarship and team wanted me, like okay, go. So when I took that, when they were here, I think 3 years ago, I think it's 2018. They were both here, and we drove. I was still in Savannah at this time, so went to North Carolina to visit family, and I took them. We were in Charlotte, so like Spartanburg's like an hour or two away. So I took them to Spartanburg and showed them my campus, showed them SMC, and my mom was like, "This is where we sent you." Oh my, what? Like, yeah, this is where I had the most fun. She's like, but it's so lonely.
it's a it's a junior college, right?
Hmm.
So it's pretty small,
Pretty small.
and it's kind of isolated from like it's
Out
not in a
everything.
big city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isolated from everything.
Oh, I have a couple friends that played basketball, junior college, like
Hmm.
taking that route to get scouted by other teams and move
Yeah.
up. I think similar process to what you did with golf, but they did theirs in Iowa, I think. So it's
Sure.
just like literally only corn. Like I have a lot of cornfields, but Iowa's like
Mm.
literally only cornfields. So anyway, what was that golf process like for you? You were in a team environment. I don't know. Did you get to
Mm.
play like in a team environment when you were in India?
No,
Okay.
never.
So
I
was
mean,
your
I was supposed to be part of the national team, but I don't know. One day I was, the next day I wasn't.
uh
So I mean, it's fine. I mean, yeah, it was fine. Didn't really bother me. But yeah, that was the first time in college I was part of a team. That was pretty interesting as well.
what because it again like you're responsible. Golf is like you're responsible for your own
Hmm.
game, your own score. But there is the team like I didn't play college golf. I don't know like
Hmm.
that team aspect. I played baseball and basketball, which it's always like the team aspect's a little bit different, but
Hmm.
what was that like for you?
Well, starting in junior college, I didn't really think much of posting a score for the team because I was I was in a whole different level than my team. So like I was always playing number one.
Mm,
So I knew my score always counted. But I started thinking about that once I transferred to Armstrong State because we had good players on the team, and anyone could have a good day at the tournament. So there were times when my assistant coach was like, "Yeah, we need you to shoot well. We need you today because your score does matter today." I mean, it mattered every time because I was always number one or two. But if I wasn't playing my best that day, and turned out not all of us played our best that one day, we'd all play this played pretty bad one day, an entire round, so entire tournament. And then the coaches would come up to me and say, "We need you to
uh,
post a good score."
are you someone that feels pressure very much?
I mean, maybe, but I don't show it.
That's good. I think like pressure and nerves, I think you hear it a lot. Like
Hmm.
nerves are a good thing. It means that you care.
Hmm.
But it's also like learning how to cope with those nerves and trying to
Yeah.
turn it into kind of a good thing, which again, I should not use myself as an example, but oh my goodness. Like Just quick story about myself. I was playing in our city tournament. I play like one competitive tournament a year, and we're playing at a course that really it's a private course, so we don't get to play it unless except for the city tournament. So anyway, I was playing super well. I was 2 over on the day, which for me was like really great. Go to the last hole, par 5. I was so nervous, like because I was like, this is it. Like this is like I just have to get in. It's not even a long par 5. I could just get a par, and I ended up, instead of hitting driver, I hit 4-iron because there's like water and there's out of bounds. And of course, I end up hitting the 4-iron into the water.
Oh no!
And then I'm gonna show like this was several years ago. Okay, so my golf knowledge is not great, and also the importance of having a caddy / knowing the rules.
Yeah.
So instead of taking a drop like 200 yards up, I re-teed it completely.
Oh no!
So this is the process. So I ended up tripling the hole to shorten the story up. So last year I got to play in a tournament, and I just kind of was able to reflect on, having a good round and me maintaining that composure to move forward. So, to relate this back to you, because this is about you. This is not about me. I apologize.
That's okay.
So did what amazes me about golf is the levels that there are. So you talked about how, like, on that first junior college team, like, you were pretty clearly, like, you're clearly the best player on that team.
Yeah.
Then you go to Armstrong State, and you're the best player, for sure, one of the best players on the team. Is there ever a time where you felt like, or I guess, and we start to transition into your professional career, where like a whoa moment, like, wow, like these players are good?
Oh yeah. When I mean, I think I felt that a little bit at Q school, but I had the whoa moment when I played my first Symetra event in Arkansas, and the course we played was pretty tough. And one of the girls I played with, she won. She shot 2 under, when I shot with pretty high. So that was a whoa moment. But again, that course was hard, so not everyone got to showcase their best golf. But as I kept playing more, I just saw the scores go lower and lower, and okay, these girls are good. I got my work cut out for me.
Right.
So, yeah.
That has amazed me, and I think that I do want to talk about Q School a little bit in a minute, but we talk about Symetra first. So I don't think Symetra as a whole, like in the golf community as a whole, doesn't get the respect that it really, in my opinion, the respect that it deserves.
Yeah.
Because it's like, almost like the minor league of the LPGA. There's not the media coverage. There's not the attention. The light's not shined on it like it should be. But it's really the girls and women, because they're really good. And
they are.
And there's former LPGA members that every year that are on the tour because the LPGA is really tough. So not everyone gets to keep their card. You're playing with some very great competition. So let's see. When did you first play 2019 was your rookie year on the Symetra Tour?
Yeah.
What are some things that you remember from that time? Like those first few events?
I definitely remember my first event in Arkansas because it was pretty interesting. I didn't make it to the second round. So I definitely remember that. I mean, I remember almost all the events. I remember almost all the events. I remember Ohio because I love that course. So getting my own locker there was like, oh my God, this is important. I'm important here.
Is it the TPC course?
Yeah, Rivers
Ah,
Bend. Hmm.
I made it to that tournament. That was
Yes, you did.
that was that was maybe, I think that was my first Symetra event that I've ever been to, actually,
Oh, really?
to be honest, which I feel bad about. But yeah, that is a really nice course.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite courses. Till we had the tournament in Arizona last year, and probably my favorite course here. Um, so yeah, I remember that. My first pro-am was in Arkansas. At first, that was I was I was not playing my best golf then, so it was I still had to put on a show. um, yeah, that's a few things, and meeting a monkey at a pro-am party. That same tournament.
A real
Yeah,
live monkey?
holding a monkey. He was sweet. uh, yeah, those are a few things that have really stuck with me.
So that introduction
Hmm.
was, did you have any, did you have any self-doubt, I guess? Was there any doubt about professional golf, or your desire to play professional golf?
Um, Not really. I probably had maybe a little bit of that a year before, but no, not because I just used that year's experience. Because after that, I knew what to expect the next year. Well, that was last year. Then COVID happened, but yeah, I didn't really have any doubts. I know I can get up, I can play as well as anyone here.
Which is great, because I think that, well, golf is very challenging. It's very difficult. And
Hmm.
not everyone can do it, but arguably the most important thing is confidence, like that
Yeah.
mental belief that you can do it, because golf will beat you down. If you have any
Hmm.
doubts, they'll it'll come up to get you. So you have to kind of
Oh
stay in
yeah.
that mindset. So before you got to Symetra,
Hmm.
you played at Q school,
Yeah.
and that's a pretty wild, like, of all the tournaments,
Hmm.
it's so unique. But first of all,
Yeah.
you are trying to qualify for
Hmm.
the big goal is LPGA Tour. But there's also like partial status available for LPGA Tour. There's full status Symetra Tour, partial status Symetra Tour. Like, there's
Hmm.
lots of things that you're potentially playing for. So you get there, you can have as many as 400 other players at a
Yeah.
tournament, which it just
Hmm.
doesn't happen anywhere else.
No.
What were some of your initial thoughts when you got there, like day one in Palm Springs?
Uh, so I went to Q school as an amateur in 2017, and I was, to be honest, kind of starstruck because I saw all these girls just like head to toe, like really good gear, outfits, and their bags were like professional. I mean, I know there were a few college girls playing, which I'd played against them in college. So I was like, wow, I like this. But of course, I played well the first 2 days, and I was in the mix, and the third day it was just pressure, you know. But I got a partial status for 2018. So technically, that was my rookie year,
Okay.
but I didn't play because I was still in college. Is And then the next year, I went back to Q school to 2018 as a professional, but this time I knew what to expect, and I knew the course. Dino Show is possibly my favorite course there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The Palmer course is what what gets me, but I conquered that too. but that year in 2018, we played Shadow Ridge. Because the year before we played Gary Players, but they moved it to Shadow Ridge, and that that course made me shake. It's beautiful. Just the greens I wasn't used to lightning fast greens, but so I didn't play my best golf that day, so I went into panic mode. But the next 3 days were just I think I shot like one under over the next 3 days. So I made it to stage 2. So yeah, I knew what to expect stage 1, but got to stage 2, whole different story. Because there you have Symetra players who didn't get into top 125 money list. Then you have LPGA players who for some reason had to start off at stage 2. So it was a whole different golf from stage 1. It was lower scores. Then you need to shoot even par, 1 over to make it. I mean, to make it to Q series. But at that time it was stage. No, I think that was Q series that time. Yeah.
I think first year of Q series, 2018.
2018, yeah. So it was interesting.
What did you think of the golf course? I'm struggling with the name right now, but
Plantation
course, yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. Like, it was like any other Florida golf course. You got water, you got gators, narrow fairways. But I mean, I liked it.
Well, I asked because I've talked to some other players that I think as golfers, I don't know actually what. I'll ask your opinion, but there's some golf courses that just like they don't like.
Oh yeah.
Or they don't necessarily like fit your game. Like if you hit draws primarily, maybe this course you need more fades, or if you hit fades, this course needs more draws, or whatever the case may be. But I talked to some players that like that course is just not their friend, and it could be just a mixture of the course and the stage 2. Like that if you can get through stage 2, then in a Q series where it's 8 rounds, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Like really, like anything can happen. So I guess maybe it's a combination of those things. What do you think?
I mean, personally, I was fine with the course. Like, coming from India, where courses aren't as lush as courses here, it's just you appreciate every golf course you play here. At least I do, and honestly, I just adapt to any golf course. I mean, I'm not like, oh, this doesn't fit me because I hit draws, or it doesn't fit me because I hit fades. I just adapt to it. So I don't know if there aren't many golf courses that I don't like here. And the stage 2 golf course was pretty nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hear you. And honestly, I think that is a key to success, especially if you're going to be professional. It's not like you get to, and this is a whole other topic that we could get into. We don't have the time today. Maybe we can talk another time.
Okay.
But one of the issues like with women's golf is that there's just, because of financial situations and support that women get, which is improving a lot. It has improved a lot and it continues to improve. But there was a PGA Tour player recently that was like, I just don't play golf courses that I don't feel like I can win on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what a nice luxury that is, that like financially you can just decide to not play for on the women's side, whether it's like, especially on Symetra. Oh my goodness. Like for the most part, I think if there's an event that you can get into, you're probably doing everything you can to play it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
for sure.
On the LPGA Tour, it's definitely better than the Symetra as far like financially, but there's only a handful of players that can really like, I'm going to take a couple weeks off because I can. Like a lot of players, you're fighting because there's all sorts of things at stake. So anyway, it's
No, I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree with all of that. It's just, and only time you would be like, oh, I can't play is when you don't really have the financial resources to actually go play the tournament.
right. Or if you're like really badly injured or something. Like
Yeah.
But I'm sure that that's something too that I don't know, and I hopefully not with like you don't have any injury issues, but do you or have you or do you know of any players that have kind of pushed through injuries because they feel like they have to play?
Not really. I don't recall. I don't think I know anyone who's pushed through an injury like that.
I think most golfers too is that, especially if you start dealing with sponsors and things, which is another thing. Like most people are not like, oh, look, I'm injured. This is why I'm not playing well. Like it is pretty like most people stay pretty quiet about those things, which is completely fine, understandable.
Yeah.
So the whole point though to that was that your mindset about playing golf courses and adjusting the best you can no matter where you play, that is the key ingredient to success, I think, as a professional golfer.
Yeah.
So speaking of some success, and I'm gonna transition into this year and then we'll yeah. So you got to play in several mini tour events last year. The Symetra Tour the schedule got very condensed because of COVID. Yeah. But if you check out your Instagram, and which I knew at the time, but you refresh. Anyone who wants to go check out your Instagram. You finished the year with your best tournament since you've been a professional, right? Tied for 12th at the Arizona Women's Open.
Oh yeah, I did.
How did that feel? Like I feel like you're smiling right now, but yeah. What?
I mean, that felt good because all year I just didn't play my best. I mean, I played 2 Symetra events and missed cut by 1 or 2 shots. After that I played WAPTs and I didn't really play. I just wasn't confident about where I was with my golf. But coming to Arizona, my coach and I, we worked on a few things because I think I just come back from a WAPT event and I had about 3 weeks before Arizona Women's Open. So we had a short time to work on things and we just focused on one thing. And I went in and just kept focused on doing that one thing. And I shot my lowest round ever and had the best tournament in 2 years.
That's awesome. And congratulations.
Thank you.
That was, if you look at the field too, especially for a state open.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel bad for like the a little bit for the women that would normally play like the state open and have a chance to win. And then because of like COVID, I think a lot of it, but there was a lot of really good like pros in that tournament. Some LPGA tour players, some Symetra Tour players.
Yeah. Like since I shot 4 under the first day, I was like on like top 3. And I played with Haley Moore the second day. And she's pretty good. Like, she's nice. She's pretty good. But I wasn't really as nervous as I thought I would be playing with an LPGA player. What made me nervous was I'm top 3. I'm playing the last group.
So they reshuffled the groups after each round?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's a good point. Like you mentioned that you were in some unfamiliar territory. What did you feel then, and then what do you feel like you learned after that experience?
Well, at that time, I was nervous. I somehow shot 1 over that day. I'm like, don't know how, because I was just shaking over the ball every time. But coming out of that, like I know since I've experienced that, I know what to expect now going when that happens again. So I won't be as nervous going into the next one
It's
whenever that happens.
every stage
Mm-hmm.
is a learning process. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
so rare for if we look at the US Women's Open, for instance,
Yeah.
Alim Kim, which I always like to make sure everyone knows her real name's
Mm-hmm.
Kim Arim, but
Okay.
but she has, I think, made it clear that she would like to be called Alim Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, she came to the US. This is her first major, I believe. She only played 2 LPGA Tour events ever before that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people seem to be pretty surprised, and it is a little surprising because it was her first major championship. But she's an
Yeah.
experienced player on the KLPGA, which
Mm-hmm.
is no joke of a tour. Like they're it gets
Yeah.
they're really good. So she has experience, but I guess like those kind of moments don't really happen a lot where you
Mm-mm.
go into a major and the final round and play like that. So more people go through, I think, the process that you're going through where you go like, oh, this is the players out here are better than I realized. The golf courses are tougher than I realized.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know what to expect. Oh, I
Yeah.
start to play well and I get a little nervous because I'm in a position I've never been in before, but now I know what to do moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Um so going into 2021, and I do, first of all, I want to thank all of our first responders, everyone out there that
Yeah.
really have been doing the best that they can to keep us all safe. But with the pandemic, I'm not exactly sure how the schedule will play out for anybody.
Yeah.
But for you, looking ahead to this year, 2021, what are some things that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to competing again. Hopefully, we have a full schedule this year. But yeah, just traveling, competing, um, earning, of course, and just I Q school. I would say Q school. I'm trying not to go to Q school, like trying to get my card, but I just I'm just excited to compete and put up a fight every time.
Yeah, because I feel like, well, what do you think? How that you ended 2020 on a really like a
On
bad
a
year in
high.
a lot of ways, but
Yeah.
you ended the year golf wise on a
Yeah.
high note.
Hmm.
Do you still feel like positive energy from that finish?
I do. I do. I'm trying to keep it. Trying not to let it go.
Good.
But yeah, I do.
Has there been anything that you've been working on?
Um, Everything, but more speed. Like I think I got up to 96 with my driver. Like what? Because I think the day I got up to that, the day before I was stuck at like 92. And then I get on the track, man, the next day, and I had a pretty bad, a semi decent drive. Actually, a bad drive on TrackMan. I go up to a 95. I look at my coach and I'm like, okay, something is wrong. I think there's something wrong with TrackMan because that was not a good shot. And it says 95 swing speed. He didn't know what to say. He like, try again. I tried again. Hit a good shot. 95.5. I'm
Ooh.
like, what is happening right now?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I just looked, my coach and I just looked at each other and we were like, we didn't know what to say because we usually have a lot to say. We were speechless. I did it again and again and again. And
Wow.
yeah, I was so hyped. I got him hyped up and he started hitting drives as well. And he swings it hard. He swings it fast. he got up to like 130.
Oh,
Yes. So we were just hyping each other up all day. And I got up to like, okay, I think I can get up to 96. I got up to 96.2.
96.2,
Oh my God.
which is a big jump from 92, like in one day.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like I hope this is not a fluke. I hope I can do it again. Came back the next day and I did it again. I'm like, okay, I feel better now. It's actually me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you feel like was it a change to your swing? I know because I haven't been training. I don't train. I
Mhm.
haven't done specific training to like increase my speed, but I know there's different approaches. Like change your swing. You can do swing speed specific workouts in general. Like what was it? Do you think?
Well, I mean, I've started lifting more and also doing box jumps where you like turn and you start at one point and turn and jump on the box. So you're using the ground for force, which actually helps in the swing. So I did that, and of course, technique. We've been working on that. So all of that just came together that day. So it's coming together, and that's what made it go up.
All
In my,
right.
I think.
So you're feeling better and better about your driver then. Is it translating to
Yeah,
your other clubs too? Or is it just
yeah,
mostly driver?
it is. It's translating to the other clubs too.
Good. Good. Um do you have any goals for this year?
Of course, getting my PJ card. That's always a goal. But just putting myself in better positions to win. And just having putt and keeping my putts below 30. Which is actually I did that in the AZ Open, so it's possible.
Good. Yes. Yes. You're right. Anything
Mhm.
is possible. I listened
Mhm.
to a podcast about Kevin Garnett yesterday.
Yeah.
And just that was I remember back to I was in middle school and he when they won that championship with the Celtics and he's like,
Mhm.
anything is possible. You got it. You got it. Okay. So a few things about you before we to kind of wrap things up.
Okay.
What are some things that you enjoy doing off the golf course?
Working out, reading, and watching shows if I find a good one.
Do you have a book and or a show? A book and a show that you would recommend right now?
Right now, I would recommend a book called Think Like a Monk. That's a really really good book. I'm currently reading that. So, and a show. I haven't really watched new shows. I just rewatched the old ones.
That's okay. Those are
Yeah,
some of the
so
best ones.
yeah. Like right now, my brother and I are watching Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Starting from
Whoa.
season 1.
Whoa. That is a
Yeah.
throwback.
Oh yeah, way major throwback. Yeah, like I don't really have good shows I could recommend. New ones at least. Old ones I'd probably say Friends. um Grey's Anatomy.
Classic. And Grey's Anatomy. Wait, is Grey's still going, by the way?
Oh yeah. Oh
Still
yeah.
still some new seasons. They're still going.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hmm.
goodness. Okay. Do you have any superstitions?
Yes. I think I do. Always have to mark my ball with a green Sharpie. Um always I always use the same marker. Like if I played well one day using that marker, I use the same one next day.
Okay.
um Always have to take a sip of water before I go putt.
Ooh. Nice. I like that one because it's a reminder to stay hydrated too.
Yeah.
Especially now that you're in Arizona, you gotta stay hydrated. Let's see. If you were not playing golf, what would you be doing?
Tennis.
Tennis. It is a
I've been
great
playing
sport.
tennis. It is. I love it. I mean, I haven't played it in a year, but I still love it.
Do you like to watch tennis too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. But I mean, not so much now because Maria Sharapova, she's my favorite tennis. She's my all-time favorite. She retired, so I'm like, who am I gonna watch now?
You
Like, I
know,
don't even know what I'm gonna do when Federer retires.
well, well, not to turn this into a tennis podcast, but
Mhm.
I was thinking about that. Actually, I was going to mention that because I was pretty sure Maria was your favorite player. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
she retired. But on the men's side, like we've been so blessed with, and you can like them or hate them, whoever it is, but with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, he's a little bit
Yeah.
younger. But to have, especially like Federer and Nadal, for how long how great they played for so long, it is wild. Like, who is next? I guess
Exactly.
we're as golf people, maybe we have to join in on cheering young Korda. He's
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe.
he seems to be making some sort of move, but let's see. Oh, I thought I remember you have something interesting about songs. Do you have like a specific playlist or something that you
Oh God. Yeah, I do. I think it's I haven't changed that playlist in a while. Probably should. But I have Low by Florida. Jordan Belford. I think I have Pitbull in there somewhere.
Oh, you're getting hyped.
Yeah. I sometimes listen to 80s rock too.
Okay.
Ever since watching Cobra Kai.
Oh, that's a new show.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Cobra Kai is a show you gotta watch.
All right, Cobra Kai. No, this is interesting. So this is a playlist you just listen to before golf or workouts or
Before golf.
before golf.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is to this point your favorite golf memory?
I would say like my 4 hole-in-ones, having those, and my 4 under par.
Her casual 4 hole-in-ones. It's like the 4 hole-in-ones. As I still sit here with my big 0, but that's awesome. And the 4 under that was the 68
Easy
at the
Open.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
big. I remember my friend, he turned professional. He has a full-time job though. So it's hard, like he can't fully commit to pro golf. But anyway, I do remember like the first time he broke 70. He shot 69. And it's kind of like in a way, I feel like a barrier. I don't know, how do you feel, like how you feel, but once you get past that number, it's like I don't know if it technically becomes easier, but you feel like you can do it again.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I can do it now.
Good.
So, but I think another golf memory would be winning my first tournament with my dad.
Oh, that's amazing.
13.
13. Wow, that is a great memory. Was he caddying for you?
No, we were actually playing in team match, and somehow I don't even remember the format, but I think it was alternate shots or some alternate shot, and we just won.
That's even better, getting to like do it with your dad. That's awesome. Okay, a few rapid fire questions, and then that will be the end. First question: coffee or
Okay.
tea?
Neither.
Love it. No caffeine for you?
No.
Whoa.
I mean, the only caffeine frosted coffee from Chick-fil-A.
Ooh.
So I guess coffee.
that
Frosted
is
coffee.
that is kind. I did try that before, and it's like the dessert style of coffee, which it's tough to kind of beat that. That is good.
Yeah.
If you could have any superpower, what would that superpower be?
Super strength.
Super strength. Ooh, I talked to Kelly Tan recently. She said the same thing. It's like you get that driving distance up. You sunrise or sunset?
Just like Wonder Woman.
You like to play Wonder Woman?
No. Just be like Wonder Woman.
Oh, be like
Just
Wonder
have
Woman.
all her power.
Ooh, I would take that too for sure. She's one of the
Yeah.
most awesome women ever. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset. I can sleep.
What's your favorite season? You lived in places that don't necessarily have lots of seasons, but
Summer.
summertime,
Spring, summer. Because I don't like the cold.
and you have all the sun too for like it's light for a long time. Never three putt or never miss a fairway.
Never three putt.
I agree. I think that's my choice too. Like
Yeah,
you could
fairway, you just get out. Recover. There's no recovery from a three putt.
That is true. And those you don't want those putt statistics to be up high. Well, Nikita, thank you so much for joining me today. Where can people follow you? Like on Instagram, Twitter?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at the real Nikita Arjun. That's a single A. I think Instagram is Nikita Arjun Golf. No, Twitter is Nikita Arjun Golf. And Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And my page should pop up.
Everyone follow Nikita and her golf journey, please. Hopefully this year we'll get to see a lot of golf
Hopefully.
from you and everyone. So wishing you the best of luck, and thanks for talking today.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you for listening to episode 15 of Pitchin' It With Ben. If you liked what you heard, please like, rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you all have any comments or questions, I'd love to hear from you all. Please reach out to me on social media. I'll do my best to get back with you as soon as I can. And see you all in episode 16.